All right. As the title of this video may say, or stream, we cannot catch a break because the entire market just had a free fall moment today, and it wasn't pretty. I'm looking at it right now. Nvidia is down almost 5%, Avgo 5.5%, Google 3%, Microsoft only 1%, Apple 3.5%. Pretty ugly across the board. Oracle almost 6% here, IBM almost 5%. Just really bad times for everybody involved. So what I want to do today is talk about some of that stuff. Pick up where we left off yesterday. My Wi-Fi was acting up, and that was a pain in the butt. But we'll have some stuff to talk about here. A lot of news, because oh my gosh, it was bad. It was bad, miserable. I was looking at the screen this morning around like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Pacific time, and it was just like, you saw that market just going down. And if you guys know the patterns of which we've talked about a lot, when we break down below moving averages, you guys see a lot of nasty moves. And this was one of those days where we saw a very nasty move. I wish there was something good that happened there. There really wasn't. But that's something that we're just going to have to deal with for a little bit of time, right? So what I want to do very fast is give Loki a little bit of a treat. I'm starting to make his treats a little bit smaller because he's getting all amped up for them. And he's all like tensed up. But you guys will be able to enjoy him having a little bit of a treat here. So if he sits down like a good boy, there's hot tea afoot so he can't get too restless. 1, 2, 3, good boy. Yeah. As he waits to see if there's anything else because he's a little bit, what do you call, a little bit greedy, I would say. Let me move this over here a little bit, guys. There we go. And hey, Larry, happy to see my man. Should I move this way or more this way? No, this way should be fine. Hey, Larry, man, we're chilling over here. Can't wait to check out our new territories in Greenland and Canada. I know this whole thing has been so freaking chaotic, but it's the type of chaos that we've seen plenty of times. I'm just, oh God. The freak out from this is going to be immense, that's for sure. Especially because I'm not entirely sure what Europe is doing right now. I know they want to keep it, but they're adding troops to Greenland as if it can change anything. Regardless of what you think about if America should have Greenland, if we need it, with all that good stuff. Like, if America really wants it, there's not really much Europe in its current form can do about it, right? Gonna dress up as a pilgrim and visit? Oh my God. I mean, you might as well at this point. It's gonna be, there's gonna be some fireworks over there. I mean, some big things. I don't know. You know what? 4th of July is coming up. If we have Greenland by the 4th of July, they're gonna have a massive, massive show. That's for sure. I mean, look at this. This is from today. I know my head is blocking a little bit of stuff right now, but you can see that Google is down quite a bit. Microsoft. You see Apple up here. Nvidia, Avgo. I mean, you just zoom in a little bit, see all this stuff. You know, 2-3%. Dell is down 8%. Why is Dell down 8%? I really don't know. SDNK is up 8%. That was kind of good. MSI is down. EMR is down. HWM, Han, QCOM. You know, we've somehow Boeing's up. Clack. Oh gosh, yeah. So it was a pretty bloody day. Even the banks were having a rough time, and it just, you know, how do I describe this? Europe is trying to flex its muscles, but it doesn't really have much muscle left. I would say it has nukes, but of course they're not going to use nukes in this type of situation. I don't think Europe has realized how far they've fallen in terms of power and global authority, right? Global authority. And hey, Charmander, happy to see my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Trump put our paratroopers on emergency standby. Exactly. I mean, it won't take much to take over Greenland, but I hope we don't have to take it over using military force. If that's the course America's going to go, fine, whatever. But let's do this very, very smartly and very, very wisely. Because if Americans are paratrooping down and Europe decides to fight back, it will not end well for the Europeans on Greenland. Like, it will just not end. There'll be some type of thing saying Trump will be like, hey, we've already had to take out a few of you guys. It'd be wise if you guys were to stand down. Otherwise, we're going to have to deploy additional assets. Because the entire time there would be like an operation going on as far as Greenland's concerned, you would have to believe there's going to be people from Europe and America talking the entire time, communicating, saying, hey, how can we end this? How can we end this? And if the EU says we're not, no, we're fighting, well then they won't get anything for Greenland. Greenland will be conquered by America. It'll be a really wacky moment in American history, that's for sure. But it won't be a pretty sight at all. Also, Tesla's down 4% today. GM's down 4%. Ford's down 2.5%. Across the board, there's a lot of nasty stuff when it comes to consumer durables. Consumer non-durables, though, I mean, PM's down a little bit here. That's Philip Morris. That's cigarettes, basically. That's something I have a lot of money tied into. But Coca-Cola, PG, Monster Energy, maybe for the troops or something like that. I don't know. They're seeing a little bit of a pop today, just a little bit. Now, stock market was bad. Cryptocurrency market, bad as you can imagine here. Yesterday it was just okay. Today it was bad. I mean, Bitcoin's down 3.5%, Ethereum's down almost 7%, BNB down 5%, XRP down 3%, Solana 4.5%. You got Cantoon Network. That's up 11% next to a 17% down Monero. Oh my God. Dogecoin only down 1.5%. That's not bad at all. But you can see this is definitely shaking the markets here. And hey, Hiram, man, happy to see you. And hey, Mo, happy to see you too. What do you call, the watch? I know, I just bought this from a friend the other day. Oh, no, never mind. I did buy a watch from a friend. It was a Citizen. He was just trying to get rid of it, so I bought it from him at a pretty good deal. This is one I've had for a long time. It's a nice little blue Citizen. I love like cheaper watches like Citizens. Like they're not like whatever those $20 watches are. They're usually like, how do I describe them? You can buy them for a couple $100 to $300, but that's only when they're like 60% off at Macy's. So I wouldn't say they're ever worth the full price that Macy's is trying to charge for them. But when they're on 60% off, I can buy them for like $200, $300. Those are the watches I typically like. I have some watches with diamonds and stuff like that. I don't wear them too much, but something about a gold watch with the nice little dial and stuff like that. Absolutely love it. I'll have to start wearing more of my watches. I have my Apple Watch over here on the charger because I need it for the gym later on. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Only thing is it clashes with all my silver, but I like silver more than gold. And maybe, I mean, as much money as I've made over the past few months with all this volatility, I don't know if I can afford gold right now. Gold seems like it's probably going up like a mofo right now. If you guys saw my short earlier today, I was talking about how Greenland was affecting the market and everything was down. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the only things that were up were what? Oil and gold. And even right now, I see gold is up a little bit more. Actually, let's just pull that up right here. I don't think I have. Oh, no, there we go. You can see Bitcoin's doing a little bit of a rebound right now. But gold, here's the weekly chart. I mean, you know. It's just going higher. It's just going higher, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. One of the things I wanted to add on to this one was silver, but I don't know if I can find it. Oh, there it is right there, yep. All right, and let's go all the way up here. I got to drag it to be right under gold, otherwise I'll never see it. Silver not moving as high, but as we might have talked about before, silver is still having a really good rally. In fact, it's playing catch up compared to gold. So you're seeing a lot of people buy into this because they missed out on the gold rally here. Oddly enough, you know, I buy gold jewelry and silver jewelry every now and again. But I haven't seen prices necessarily go up. You know, the last real piece of jewelry I bought was a couple years ago. As far as rings, I should say. And I bought it at the David Yurman shop in Las Vegas when I was down there for whatever reason. Might have been vacation, might have been whatever. But I saw that in the men's section they had these rings, and what they had here was a filter material. It was going to be sterling silver, nice and cheap because I'm not too crazy. And it's this ring right here, $425. I bought this like 2 years ago. Okay, right? You guys, hold on. It won't show too well, but no, it's not going to show too well. That's what it looks like. It's a very nice ring. It's intricate, whatever. It's very nice. But it cost $425 back then too, right? And so in the last 2 years, they haven't had a reason. And the prices for this gold over here, this hasn't gone up either. Because I remember I had some screenshots in my phone from a long time ago because I was thinking about getting the gold version. The silver version just looks better. I like the black that kind of comes along with it. I don't like the pure gold out of this. The black kind of makes it look tattered in my eyes. I almost got this Pave one though. That looks really cool. I just don't like diamonds like that. Yeah, I just don't like diamonds like that. It's just too feminine for me. But the prices haven't gone up. Now, I know they probably have crazy margins, so they don't need to worry about that type of stuff. But, you know, everything's getting more expensive as far as precious metals. What we saw today was something that was pretty interesting. The Danish pension fund to sell $100 million in treasuries, citing poor U.S. government finances. A little bit of a dig at Trump as they're trying to put it here. But basically the key points were the Danish pension operator okay, I'm not going to say that name, said its existing U.S. Treasury over finance concerns. Oh, it says it's exiting U.S. Treasury over finance concerns tied to America's budget shortfall. The move comes amid increasing tensions with the United States over Greenland as President Donald Trump pushes for control over the island. And then it says the pension said it plans to have closed its position of around $100 million in U.S. Treasuries by the end of the month. $100 million is not even a drop in the bucket. Like, $100 million to us in our treasuries is like putting a drop on a hot cast iron pan, and then a little bubble pops out of it and sizzles into the air when it happens. That's $100 million to us. That being said, it's a statement, and you might have other people add to that, which could make it maybe a drop. So far, it hasn't been more than a drop. I think the fear of all this stuff happening is going to have a much greater impact, if you will, right? And hey, Villa, happy to see my man. Red, white, and blue land, they should consider themselves lucky we don't take Iceland as well. What do you call? I wouldn't be surprised if we did take Iceland as well. We're like in a very expansionist mood right now. I know from, like, I guess America's standpoint, we've been kind of protecting the world for a while. We haven't really gotten much out of it because, you know, everybody kept on wanting our money, and they won't give us anything of equal value for it. And now, you know, we're not playing as nice, which is interesting. It's kind of what a lot of people voted for, I'm sure, but we'll see how this plays out. All right, so we got the pension fund here right now. Loki's over here playing with his toys. Right now, we're seeing the futures have a little bit of a bump, just like how we saw Bitcoin's having a little bit of a bump right now. Now, is it a great bump? No. Let me go over here to the daily chart. You can see a small little relaxation time here. It's very, very small, but it's nice. We saw Netflix post narrow earnings beat. Not a lot. I don't really own Netflix. I don't really care about Netflix. It's not my cup of tea as far as holding. I think last time I bought it was during COVID times. It's definitely been a minute. But this is something that I thought you guys might enjoy reading about more than the past article, because the past article I think kind of leads into this a little bit more dramatic, if you will. It says this is Sell America. U.S. dollar treasuries prices tumble and gold spikes as globe flees U.S. assets. Again, this is meant to get a lot of clicks. If you look at how bad the markets were down today, if I can go to U.S., this is not a catastrophic day. I would say it was a bad day for Bitcoin and crypto because they're already bearish. But what this does for America and our stock market, as we've talked about before here, is things people are starting to sell. You start going over to the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. Dow Jones here, we're still bullish on two. Yeah, on 2 of the 3. We're still bullish on 2 of the 3 when it comes to momentum. We're fine. The NASDAQ still bullish on 2 of the 3. The SPY is still bullish of 2 of the 3. Now, we are facing some headwinds. That is 100% sure. A few months down the road, maybe we're looking at something a little bit more bearish. But as far as now, we are doing okay. We're slowing down, but again, we're really slowing down even more because everybody knows there's going to be no more rate cuts coming up here pretty soon. And we're going to have to wait to see what happens with the new Fed chair before we get anything really going on the economy side of the market side. And then we got the Russell over here, the SPY, same thing. But the Russell, all cylinders right now because of the lower interest rates overall. This has been actually breaking out, making all-time highs, and everything is green right here, so a little bit better. Maybe some people will be trading the low caps for a while, and maybe that's something that's not a terrible idea here. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Dollar index, they said it was falling down. It actually didn't look like it did anything too crazy today. No, we've been pretty flat as far as the dollar index for a while. Yeah, it's the same price it was back in April of 2025 during the Liberation Day tariffs. Oop, dragging that down a little bit. Yeah, I don't actually see anything crazy as far as the dollar is concerned right now. What if I go over to the weekly chart? Is there anything like drastic? No. We were here just a few weeks ago back in November. It's not something that is new and oh my god, this is like fear worthy, if you will. I think the news was just trying to sell some US dollar. Yeah, the US dollar did not tumble really today. Let's see. The seller market trade is in full swing Tuesday morning. President Donald Trump's latest threats around Greenland push global investors to shift exposure away from the United States. Let's see. The U.S. dollar index headed for its biggest decline since April of U.S. bond prices tumbled, sending yields spiking. Let's see. The South America trade, okay, let me see. Yeah, it's not too bad. Gold and silver marched to fresh highs. Yeah. Tumultuous times. It's going to be crazy. Let's see. I had mentioned this in the video today, but I actually just curious of what you guys think about this. Everybody keeps on talking about the Supreme Court and what they're going to do with the tariffs. We've been waiting for this announcement, I feel like, for a week to a week and a half, and we haven't gotten it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing in terms of Trump's wanting to put on tariffs, but if Trump is no longer allowed to have the power to add tariffs onto other countries without congressional approval, he's going to lose a lot of power in terms of global politics, I guess you could say. Global politics, that could be one way of putting it. Let's see. No, I still don't see anything news about like when they may announce it. But they may announce it. I think it's just going to be a surprise here, guys. I think that's just what it's going to be. Ray Dalio is okay. He's smart in his own way, but he's not like street smart in terms of the markets. But he does say he's always saying the market's going to crash, and that it hasn't really had that big event that he's been talking about for like decades. But Ray Dalio warns that capital wars could follow Trump's actions, with countries dumping U.S. assets. Again, they could, but it's not like there's lots of other places to put that money, if you get what I'm saying. They already did this back during Liberation Day tariffs, and then once everything in America started to really rally here, things got really, really crazy. For example, EU markets. They were down as well. I mean, let me just go. Let's go to the IBEX 35. All right. Just and post stock. Hold on a second here. Okay. So this is Spain's main stock market benchmark, tracking performance of its 35 most liquid Spanish companies, serving as a key indicator of the country's economic health with real-time data and historical trends. Okay, so we go over here. Last 5 years, they've had some growth since 2023, and they've been going on. You can see how they might be kind of stagnant overall since the 90s, though, whereas America's market has been going a lot higher. If I were just to kind of pull up, maybe not even like just the Dow, 2023, right? 2023, right there, still booming up, having a good time. But you look at where we are, like the highs we're seeing right now in Spain in 2025, and then you see where the price was back over here in 1999. You know, again, 1999. Like, what are we talking about here? I mean, like, what? Like, honestly, every time they try to take their money out, they can't because America holds a lot of the money as well, and the Chinese will put the money in here. The Russians still put the money in here as much as they're allowed to, um, and that's kind of one of the big things here. Now, yeah, let's say we don't care about Spain. Let's say we just want to go over here to the SMI. All right, the Swiss exchange, all right. They've been moving up a little bit, but it's not like it's been a lot. They don't. They're not like us. They're not like us, and they understand that. They can have an effect, but that effect, if I'm being honest, it's not going to be that much. But where they do, how would I say this? Where they can piss us off, it's not going to really be me and you that much. What it's going to be is like, hey, America has midterm elections this year. Why don't we fuck with all of those swing states that that have voted for Trump in the past, but only by barely? Let's make all of those things mad by launching tariffs and you know, sanctions and stuff like that. Therefore, their economic prosperity will be dampened temporarily, and they may take that out on Donald Trump, which may lead to us having more friendly people in power in Congress, aka like Democrats, right? Which could definitely work. That was China's playbook earlier during the trade war, which is why Trump tried to get all of this trade war stuff out of the way back in 2024, because there's no midterms in 2024. It's his first full year of doing whatever the freak he wants before usually the midterms change, have a change of power, right? So we'll see. Manifest Destiny. I mean, pretty much. I mean, the other direction, yeah, but the direction, but yeah, it is Manifest Destiny. It's gonna be I don't know how to describe it. It's going to be a hassle for a while for us to deal with this. You guys could see that today Bitcoin just had a nasty drop. We broke down below the 20 and the 50 day moving averages. You guys already know when we break through those, a lot of times we're having a little bit more volatility. Hasn't always been the case for Bitcoin, but usually when we break through them, there is some volatility. And the fact that a couple days ago we were resting right on top of it with the bearishness that was creeping in from the daily charts. If you guys didn't know, we turned bearish back over here on the 18th of January, right there. And then one day later, we were at support. The next day, we're freaking coming down hard. It was the choppiness, though. That's what really killed us, because the MACD never went bullish, of course, but the stochastic and the RSI did. But I'm not going to say this more than once this stream, I promise. We knew that the monthly chart was already bearish here, so there's not much excitement you can get out of that, because we have to have everything aligned in order to make money. So instead, what are we doing? We're watching the daily charts, the 4-hour charts, and the 15-minute charts in order to get any type of good money. Unless you're like Larry, who has some good trades as well. But like, I'm looking at the weekly charts. Okay, you know, it is what it is. We're kind of in this choppy motion where we have some bearishness and some bullishness. Overall bearish because of the monthly charts. So we go over to the daily chart. Okay, well, we see that the two right here, they turned bearish back over here on January 18th. Okay, cool. Add a little bit of a thing right there. Now we go over to the 4-hour chart. Okay, cool. We're at a level of resistance. We can see this was bearish and bearish and bearish. So they've been bearish since the Thursday, right? So you have an ability to go over here. So what are you looking for after that? You go over here and you're like, okay, I got to find a 15-minute chart now and find out where we're seeing some of those breakdowns. And let me see if I can find one right here. Here we go. So breakdown right here. This one had one, but this one didn't have one over here. So you see a move right there. And of course, that really didn't even net you much profit, unfortunately. Not much at all. I mean, you had a stop loss right there. That's fine. Went down a little bit. Was there really nothing going on? Let's see. Oh yeah, there really wasn't. Yeah, the one level was already right there. Wow. Yeah. So that wasn't necessarily a good play. Another crossover right here, right there. Stop loss right there. That one ended up going back down to support. That was fine. A little bit choppier. Over here, breakdown, breakdown. That one didn't work out as well here. I guess it was at a support level, so you're not even going to make that one. Breakdown right here. That was happening so fast. I mean, technically, breakdown, breakdown. It did work out for you. But you had to catch on to that one and kind of ride the wave. There just hasn't really been much good stuff here. Uh, but I know during that time, oh, I see over here during some of those trades, we had a little bit of bullishness coming across, so it would have been a little bit more choppy anyway. But yeah, it's been kind of a meh type of environment here. Now that we're kind of out of it, at least on the 15-minute charts, it should be a little bit easier here. Where is... Oh, where's my... There you go. So we've been bearish here for a minute, at least the last few hours. So if we go the last 15-minute charts. Breakup structures have been good on both times. Change of character has been good. Crossover right here and right here. So yeah, it has been working a little bit better with the 4-hour chart and then breaking down below support. But yeah, it's been kind of rough. Yeah, okay, it hasn't been that bad. Yeah, just from that 4 hours crossing back up for a little bit. Just a nasty time to be out there in the markets right now. Just a very nasty time. Because remember, what really ended us in the first place was, excuse me, if you guys recall, Trump announced tariffs way back in October about China, because they had like reneged on some part of the deal when it came to precious metals, and Trump didn't like that. I get it. He threatened tariffs, and then we just saw massive liquidations when it came to altcoins. I mean, massive liquidations. And that's all she wrote. That was the high we got. We never really went higher, and I hate that it was timed like that, but yeah, it was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. What are you saying, Larry? Trump's speech at Davos tomorrow, can't wait. That is going to be interesting. You're going to see a lot of Europeans mad at him, maybe even laugh at him. But one of the interesting things about Trump not being president for those 4 years where we had Biden, after the 2020 elections, excuse me, we got to see a lot of the stuff he was warning about happen, like Russia invade. That was bad. Europe being so dependent on Russian oil, they couldn't fight back the way they wanted to because they're so dependent on Russia. And it led to just so much chaos because, like, if you're far left or you're like far left European style, one of the worst things that could happen for your ego is for Donald Trump to be proven right. Especially when like Donald Trump is everything you hate and disdain, So I hope they listen to him in terms of some stuff. And I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I bet it's going to be a fire breather of a speech. Maybe a large portion is going to be about Greenland. There may even be some protesters there. I don't even know. I would not be day trading during that time tomorrow unless you're trying to do shorts, because I believe that he will most likely try to threaten more tariffs, and you'll see Bitcoin dump down to like the mid 80s at that point, and that may be another bad sign of things to come in terms of the market. All this stuff is of course short lived here. We just got to figure out where the bottom is going to be, but it's definitely not news that's going to make us go high and be like, oh wow, this is really good stuff for the market. This is really what we want to see. Nah, it's not going to really be that way, right? It's not going to really be that way. But that's something we're just going to have to live with, right? But I think we should be okay. Right now, we're seeing everything breathe. The news isn't too bad. You go to X, look at Bitcoin. There really isn't much news happening today at all. I just saw this and I was laughing a little bit. Sold Bitcoin at 126,000 and took my beautiful wife to Paris. This person knew what they were doing. I don't even think this is a real person. But it's funny that they did it. Bitcoin 180,000 versus $45,000. Nobody's selling at 45,000, but that's interesting. Well, I don't know what they're trying to talk about anyway. Let's see. Simply Bitcoin says the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. The issuing power should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs. Thomas Jefferson for the win over here. Welcome to the beginning of the golden bull run. I hope so. See, things like that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Hopefully. That crash over here is going to be historic, but people are going to short the crap out of that as well. That's one of those things you short with a 5x or a 4x or a 3x leverage. Makes a little bit of money for you. What seems to be happening, what is really happening, it's both. Bitcoin's going up, dollar's going down. Bitcoin's only going up as well because there's a lot of other stuff besides Bitcoin versus the dollar, of course. Bitcoin falls below 88,000. Let's see. Oh, interesting. The media is claiming today's market carnage is Greenland. It's not Greenland, it's Japan. Bitcoin trades 24/7. Takashi press conference. I wonder what she said today. Really didn't seem to be much economic news, though. Past 24 hours. Japan's Prime Minister Sane Takachi calls snap election to seek direct public mandate. On January 19th, Japan Prime Minister announced a decision that sent shockwaves through Tokyo's political establishment. She will dissolve the House of Representatives on January 20th, the opening day of the regular diet season, and call a snap election for February 8th. Damn, see, these elections are so freaking fast. For a prime minister who has been in office for barely 3 months, the move is nothing short of political all-in. At a press conference at the prime minister's office in Tokyo, she said bluntly that the core purpose of the dissolution was to allow voters to judge directly and unequivocally whether she is fit to serve as prime minister. The timing of sharp criticism elections will be held while snow continues to blanket parts of the country during a major examination period for students and before the passage of the new fiscal year budget. Oh wow, bunch of that's that crazy political stuff you see in House of Cards, right? House of Cards. You picked up Sony in Tokyo Electron. Oh, I haven't been to. Account is only up 7.6 for the year. Um, Mine's doing okay. My account's up around 10.5 right now. I didn't have a good day today, so I'm assuming maybe it's down a little bit. But my account is a lot of high risk stuff, and I've just got lucky on some of the last few days. Some of them having really big moves, because they are lower market caps, like around the 500 million to 10 billion type of plays. Let me see. Last 7 days, we got a few that are up. Like Pex Gold is up, of course. Layer Zero, Dash, Internet Computers up, and then we just have stuff like IP Story down 33%. Although it's still up 65% for the month, which is pretty darn good. Yeah. Oh, just a bloodbath. Nothing fun there. Market overview dashboard. Market cap, Bitcoin, yes. Crypto ETF net flow. Oh, money just leaving. 1 year, yeah. I mean, it was so good back in May, right? May, April. Everybody was, not caring about the tariffs and whatnot. After that, Trump said buy. Everybody bought, and off we went. Let's see. I don't care about the market data. Spot market. Number of cryptocurrencies. Oh my god. There's been 58,000 cryptocurrencies created in the last 24 hours. Like, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. There's no reason for that. Yeah, there's no reason for so many of these. Bitcoin ETFs. I should probably work this into the streams or something eventually, but I'm not entirely sure. I bet, yeah. A little bit. Ooh, liquidations. See, top liquidation events of all time. Trump threatens 100% tariff on China. Yep, that'll do it. Rumors of AML crackdowns on mining halts in China, and then Tesla reversal on Bitcoin payments and China-U.S. regulatory pressure. Yeah. Last hour, how's it looking here? Yeah, shorts are getting liquidated. They bought too late, or they entered in their trades too late. Yeah. Not a crazy amount. There's not as many trades happening, of course. Hmm. Oh well. Shouldn't be too bad. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream right here. I gotta figure out how to like structure this a little bit better. I gotta be able to get back and forth with you guys in the comments. I have been putting out more content for you guys. I got a 1 out of 10 here today, so it's been performing better than normal. I will be just talking more and putting out more content, whether it be short form content and stuff like that. So get ready for that. I do like that a lot. Talking about Greenland and all this other type of stuff. It seems to be not money, of course, but views. It's working, so I'll be talking more about that type of stuff. In terms of the market, I don't care about it really other than the market, but maybe we'll have other reasons to talk about it here pretty soon. As far as what's coming, you guys already know how the channel is going to be structured from out here on out. So you guys may see some content coming up as far as videos about tutorials and stuff like that. Some cool stuff going on. You know, if I'm on a walk and I see some news and I want to talk about it, I'll pull out my trusty gimbal and that should be pretty good. I'm still working out and going to the gym and stuff. I gotta get rid of this double chin. It's freaking scaring the crap out of me. Even though I've been losing weight, I gotta lose more weight, right? Gotta start a fast here pretty soon. And here's, yeah, Mr. Playtime over here. Where's he at? Where's he at? Yeah, yeah. He's still having a grand old time over here. I'm about to go let him outside, though. Looks like he has to go use the bathroom. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys probably around 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll talk about some of the big news coming out from today. And then I'll probably try to put out 3 to 4 videos tomorrow. One being a tutorial, maybe a couple being about news, and maybe one just talking about something else. I'll kind of figure it out as I go tomorrow. But it seems to be doing well.